The supreme goal. It may be objected that Vedanta philosophy, like every other system of religious thought, is based upon a central hypothesis. Certainly, the supreme goal of life is to know Brahman, if Brahman exists. But can we be sure of this? Isn't it possible that there is no underlying reality in the universe? Isn't it possible that life is just a meaningless flux, dying and becoming in perpetual change? What is so attractive about Vedanta is its undogmatic, experimental approach to truth. Shankara does not tell us that we must accept the existence of Brahman as a dogma before we can enter upon the spiritual life. No, he invites us to find out for ourselves. Nothing, no teacher, no scripture can do the work for us. Teachers and scriptures are merely encouragements to personal effort, but, as such, they can be very impressive. Imagine that this is a lawsuit and that you are the judge. Try to listen impartially to the witnesses on both sides. Consider the witnesses for Brahman, the seers and saints who claim to have known the eternal reality. Consider their personalities, their words, the circumstances of their lives. Ask yourself, are these men liars or hypocrites or insane, or are they telling the truth? Compare the great scriptures of the world and ask, do they contradict each other or do they agree? Then give your verdict. But mere assent, as Shankara insists, is not enough. It is only a preliminary step toward active participation in the search. Direct personal experience is the only satisfactory proof of Brahman's existence, and each of us must have it. Modern science goes a long way toward confirming the Vedanta world picture. It admits that consciousness in varying degrees may be present everywhere. Differences between objects and creatures are only surface differences, varying arrangements of atoms. Elements can be changed into other elements. Identity is only provisional. Science does not yet accept the concept of absolute reality, but it certainly does not exclude it. Shankara knew nothing of modern science, but his approach is fundamentally scientific. It is based upon the practice of discrimination, a discrimination to be applied to ourselves and to every circumstance and object of our experience, at each instant of our lives. Again and again, thousands and thousands of times a day, we must ask ourselves, is this real or unreal? Is this fact or fancy? Is this nature or only appearance? Thus, we probe deeper and deeper toward the truth. We all know that we exist. We are all aware of our own consciousness. But what is the nature of this consciousness, this existence? Discrimination will soon prove to us that the ego idea is not the fundamental reality. There is something beyond it. We can call this something Brahman, but Brahman is only another word. It does not reveal the nature of the thing we are looking for. Can Brahman be known as an existing substance or thing? Not in the ordinary meaning of the verb. To know something is to obtain objective knowledge of it, and such knowledge is relative, depending upon space, time, and causation. We cannot know absolute consciousness in this manner because absolute consciousness is knowledge itself. Brahman is the source of all other knowledge. It comprises the knower, the knowledge, and that which is known. It is independent of space, time, and cause. In this sense, the practice of discrimination differs from the method of scientific research. The scientist concentrates upon some object of knowledge and pursues it beyond the range of physical sense perception with the aid of apparatus, chemical analysis, mathematics, and so forth. His research extends like a journey, deeper and deeper into time and space. The religious philosopher is trying to annihilate time and space, the dimensions of the ego idea, and thus uncover the reality which is nearer and more instant than the ego, the body, or the mind. He is trying to be aware of what he already and always is, and this awareness is not an aspect of consciousness itself. The illumined seer does not merely know Brahman, he is Brahman. He is existence, he is knowledge. Absolute freedom is not something to be attained. Absolute knowledge is not something to be gained. Brahman is not something to be found. It is only Maya which has to be pierced, ignorance which has to be overcome. The process of discrimination is a negative process. The positive fact, our real nature, eternally exists. We are Brahman, and only ignorance divides us from this knowledge. Transcendental consciousness, or union with Brahman, can never be investigated by methods of scientific research, since such research depends ultimately upon sense perception, and Brahman is beyond the grasp of the senses. But this does not mean that we are doomed to doubt or to blind trust in the experience of the seers. Until we have reached the supreme goal for ourselves, even a little effort in meditation, the spiritual life will reward us with insight and conviction that this is really the way to truth and peace, that we are not simply deceiving or hypnotizing ourselves, that reality is available. We shall have our ups and downs, of course, and our moments of uncertainty, but we shall always return to this conviction. No spiritual gain, however small, is ever lost or wasted. And this negative theology he's talking about is also called via negativa, and Neoplatonists, such as Plotinus, had the same approach to the universe.